Hey guys, I wanted to make this video partly because I've gotten a lot of the same questions over and over again and I wanted to answer those. And partly because this is kind of a journal entry for me. Since this is kind of our first baby, I want to remember what I had to say about this stuff. So here we go. I would say my wife is an absolute rock star. I've been so proud of her throughout this whole process because it's something that I seemingly could not do, first of all. And second of all, I totally understand why God gave pregnancy and childbirthing to women, because men would be horrible pregnant people. So, those of you that know us well know that Carla has a really strong feeling of doing this naturally. And I say more power to her. I support her, and I think that she'll do it. I think, like I said, she's a rock star. So I really think that she'll be the one that will just have that baby and there'll be no pain, and it'll be awesome, and it'll be in the record books. Me, on the other hand, would just say, put me out till tomorrow and wake me up when he's here. So, it's kind of a trick question. This is our first earth-dwelling baby. We've actually had 2 miscarriages before this. And they were heart-wrenching. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. But God has really met me there. And through Abraham, I felt like God was saying that we needed to give those babies names. So Carla had a really strong feeling that our first baby was a boy. And we miscarried both of ours right around the same time, about 6 weeks. But she just had that feeling. So the first one we named Emerson Marshall Adams. And the second one we felt like it might have been a girl. So that's Justice Ray Adams. In the Bible, there's a man named Abram, and he's married to Sarai. And later, his name gets changed to Abraham, and his wife's name to Sarah. And the funny thing is, Abram means the father of nations. Abraham means the father of many nations. And Sarah and Sarai actually just mean princess. So there's not really a big name change there. But I really connected with the story of them because they deal with infertility. And they even kind of try every way to kind of like, bend God's arm into doing it the way they want. But eventually, God, keeps on his promise and he gives them a son. And I think Abraham's like 100 years old when it finally happens. But so Abraham was literally because God kept his promise to us. And I always really loved the sound of Abe. So I thought that was cute. Thurman, on the other hand, obviously naming him after my dad. Because my dad hasn't always liked his name. It's kind of had a little bit of a negative connotation for him. And the reason behind that is because his dad's name was Thurman. And that Thurman wasn't around for a lot of my dad's life. So for a long time, he kind of dealt with that. The beautiful part, though, is that there's been redemption there. And Dad got to spend time with his dad. And so there's this picture that I saw with our story where Dad didn't get to feel what it felt like to be the son, and I wasn't getting to feel what it felt like to be the dad. And so God answered this prayer where my dad got to feel what it felt like to be the son, and now I'm getting to feel what it feels like to be the dad. So the most important Thurman to me is his namesake. So I had to name him Thurman. I'm just kidding. Are you ever really ready to be a dad? I'm definitely ready to meet my son. I'll tell you that much. I think God's been molding me over the last 5 years through our fertility journey, and been spending a lot of time in the Word. And I took a verse, John 3:16, and I was really kind of going over that, and in that moment, God met me there. Because in John 3:16 it says that God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him won't perish but will have everlasting life. And I was like, okay, yeah, I got it. Like, I see why it's a kind of a cliche in the church, because it's easy to memorize and it's great for Sunday school, and I get it. There's no hidden message. Then I started to go, I would give everything I own to have a son. God gave his only son to save everyone. And I couldn't imagine trading my son for somebody else. So I started to see that verse as this beautiful love story between a father and his son. And I then I started to think that it might be the simplest, most beautiful version and explanation of our faith. That God loved the world so much that he gave his only son to save us, so we could spend eternity with him in heaven. So thanks, God. Am I ready to be a dad? I got a couple pretty good examples of one.